Hi there, John Stagner here with Stagner Insurance Agency in Salem, Missouri. I want to talk about a very inexpensive type of coverage you can get called a hospital indemnity policy. And before I get into exactly what it does and how it works, uh, two obvious questions. What is it and who is it for? The first question, what is it or what does it do? Basically, it helps you cover the cost of being hospitalized. Even if you have insurance, sometimes you have co-pays or co-insurance that you have to pay. But it actually goes much farther beyond that because a lot of times, you might have to take a ride in an ambulance. You might have to go to the ER. You might have to have some tests done, like an MRI or a CAT scan or X-rays. Then you might have to have surgery. There's a lot of things that go along with it. So I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. The second question, who is it for? And ironically, the easiest way to answer that is who is it not for? It's not for people who have full Medicaid. If you have some kind of military coverage where you're being treated at a VA hospital, or if you have full coverage like TRICARE for Life or Chant VA with certain veterans, or if you have a Medicare supplement, which covers those costs for you. But you can still get a hospital indemnity policy if you're one of those people, but you might be paying for coverage that you just really don't need. It still work, but you just really don't need that type of coverage. So I'm going to show you exactly how that works. I'm going to share my screen. So the example that I use here is for Medicare Advantage plans. And this is really the most common place that we see people, a lot more and more people getting this type of coverage. Now, not the type of Medicare Advantage where you also have Medicaid, because it would be unnecessary coverage at that, just an unnecessary expense to you. Before I get into these numbers and what these are, just some example, some uh, average example costs of what your copays would be if you had Medicare Advantage. Let me explain what the plan does. It's called an indemnity plan, and what that means in insurance is it means when a thing happens, the plan pays you a certain amount. They just write you a check for it. And they don't care how much the bill was. They don't care who did it. They don't care if you were in or out of network. It doesn't matter if you have any other kind of insurance. It just pays you directly. It doesn't coordinate with any other type of insurance, and it's not assigned to a doctor or hospital. It pays you directly so that you can pay those copays. So the most common ones that we see here, copays in mid-Missouri, the big one, of course, being hospitalization. And what they do, it ranges from 1,500 to 2,400 in this area. Uh, and I've seen as high as $2,800 for a week-long stay, but it breaks it up day by day. So usually an Advantage plan will say you're going to have a daily copay of, let's say, $300. Well, if you have a 3-day hospital stay, your copay is going to be 300 times 3 or $900. If you have one of these plans, very inexpensive plans, then you get a check for $900 so you can pay that copay. And it will cover additional things like a ride in an ambulance, but typically we see $200 to $300, emergency room, surgery, diagnostic tests. And this one, I'm not going to get into it today, but you can actually get some cancer coverage added onto it for very, very little cost, because this will protect you from, the hitting your maximum out of pocket onto your plan very, very quickly if you get a cancer diagnosis. Now, a lot of times you have to qualify medically for these, but I do have companies that will issue a hospital indemnity plan without any health questions asked if you're not currently in good health. So a very, very popular type of coverage, a lot of people moving to that. And, it has to be quoted individually, but typically we see anywhere from $30 to $40 per month, depending on your age and some other factors and whether or not you add some cancer coverage to it. So it's very inexpensive and it's good protection in the event that you have a bad year. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or like a direct quote, be happy to do that for you. It only takes a moment. Just call the number at the bottom of your screen and be happy to help. Thanks for watching. Talk soon.